Hi, Alan.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mario.
Okay, Baruch
Hi.
Hashem. Good.
How are you, Alan?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Feel good.
That's good.
Thank
You had it.
Thank you.
You had the thing done or not?
They forgot to put me on the list today. So they say for tomorrow. So they say, okay, we'll do it late in the day, but you'll have to stay overnight. I says, no way. So I'll push it off to Monday now. Okay, listen, I'm okay with or without it, you know.
Were they doing a bris? Another bris?
I can't give any more at the off. I gave everything I can. Yeah.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah, right. You go the wrong circles that I go. I don't know. I can barely pee, you know. These two guys are standing next to a urinal next to each other, and one guy says to the other, he says, "Oh, was Goldberg your mohel?" He says, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" He says, "Because you're peeing all over my shoes."
Well, I don't know how it happened, but I get Jewish jokes in a page of Facebook,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and this story goes like this: this guy is in a hotel in Vegas.
Get that. Rabbi Doctor.
Oh, Ernie, yeah.
Dr. Agassi. Uh-huh.
Yeah. If anybody could, he could, yeah.
Protexia.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, listen, we were Zoichet to do the Akamat HaMatzeva with his mother, and it was
Oh.
a very beautiful trip.
Where's she buried? In Yerushalayim?
In Beit Shemesh,
Oh, Beit Shemesh. Oh,
Eretz
okay.
Eretz Chaim.
Okay. Shemesh Aliyah, yes.
Amen. So Mario, we need to put out to the Navi Shir that we're going to learn Motzei Shabbos instead of Sunday night this week at 9 p.m. Shabbos is over at 8:30 because Sunday night is an event at the Spira's house for Pua.
Right.
Right. So, and I go to that. I think there's a few people from the group that go to that.
Right.
So I don't think we should just cancel it. I think we should just move it this week to Motzei Shabbos at 9 p.m. because Shabbos is over at 8:30.
What about the?
The Daf Yomi we'll do in Shul, like we've been doing.
Okay. All
Or,
right.
before Mincha.
Yeah, but the
All
Sunday
right.
Daf Yomi. The Sunday Daf Yomi.
Sunday Daf Yomi, we can do like at 6 o'clock, I think. Because the Pua event starts at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
We should do it at 6 o'clock. That way we do the Daf then as well.
Or
Okay.
Sunday morning. Sunday morning? Would you want to do a Sunday morning?
Well, Sunday morning, people daven at different times, etc. I think it's better to do it in the evening.
Okay, that's fine,
Okay.
yeah.
So Lamed Aleph, we're on Lamed Aleph. Boba Yom Dorosh Rabbi Yeshua ben Urkenis, Shelo Avad Iyuv, that Iyuv served Hashem ba'ava, not b'yira. Because there's a pasuk, Hein yiktaluni lo ayachel. Lo is with either Lamed Vav, which so I'm going to daven to him, or lo ayachel. I'm not going to daven. So the Gemara says, what do you mean? Let's take a look in the writing. Hi, lo, ibalamed aleph ksiv. Then it's a lo. Ibalamed vav ksiv, lo. So what's the machlokas? Just let's see how it's written. Just because it's written lamed aleph doesn't necessarily mean that it means no. Because there's a pasuk el miyata b'chol tzarasum lo tsar. It means the opposite. It says over there that the Malach saved them, and that's by Iyuv, which is mashma, that it's a lamed with a vav, elalav mashmachi. So really, sometimes even if it's a lamed aleph, sometimes it's read low, and sometimes it's not. Tanya Rab Meir Nema Yirei Elokim be'iyuv, Nema Yirei Elokim b'Avram. My Yirei Elokim b'Avram me'ava. He was Yirei Elokim me'ava. Af Yirei Elokim Omer be'iyuv me'ava. The Avram Gufim Minol, how do you know the Avram's Yiras Hashem was Me'av? The Chsiv Zera Avram Oyavi. So he was called the beloved. So Ma'ike Benoisim Me'av Loisim Me'ira. When someone does somebody Me'av versus Me'ira, what's the difference? Ika Hadatanya Rav Shimon Lozer Omer. Gadol Oisim Me'av Yoisim Oisim Me'ira. Greater is the person who performs mitzvahs, etc., Me'ava rather than Me'ira. Shezet Toli Le'elef Dor. V'zet Toli L'Alpayim Dor. Doing mitzvahs Me'ira gives you zechuyos for 1,000 generations, and Me'ava gives you Alpayim, 2,000 generations. Halaksiv L'Alpayim Lo'avai L'Shomei Mitzvah. So to thousands, plural, to the ones who have Ava. V'asum Ksiv L'Shomei Mitzvah Le'elef Dor without Ava. There's another pasuk that says even with Av it's only Elef Dor. Yeah, but it was written next. The other one was written the Alof. The Alof Alpayim is Misyachis more to the Oavav than to the Shomer Mitzvah. There were two Talmidim learning in front of Rava. I saw in my dream, look at the reward that is awaiting those that fear Hashem. The other one said, that was, there's going to be great joy to those that worship Hashem be'ava. So Rava answered, I see that both of you are tzaddikim gemurim. Mar me'ava, mar me'ira. One is a tzaddik gamur, whose motivation is me'ava, and one is me'ira, because you both got dreams that related to that. Hadalak Hashem Shamayim, Hadalak Hashem Shamayim, Hadalak Hashem Shamayim. Perak Shishi. Misha kinele ishto v'nistra. Person warned his wife, and then she sequestered herself in the room, and there weren't two Eidim to say that she was Nister. If there were two Eidim and she refused to drink the Sotah, because that would trigger the Sotah, so let's say she refused to drink it, she would get divorced and lose the ksuba. Now, let's say testimony comes in, afilu shama me'afa pareach. A bird tells him that she sequestered herself. So you have to divorce such a woman. You give her a ksuba, because there's not enough evidence that she loses her ksuba. That's Divrei Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Yeshua Omer, we need to hear rumors from the women that sit and weave at night. If they hear rumors from the women that, oh, this such and such woman sequestered herself. So again, there's no Shnei Eidim. So there's enough information with the women that it's an ugly thing, and he has to divorce her, but he has to give her this ksuba in that situation. Omar Eid Echad.
Ernie, what's the exact meaning of sequester? I don't understand. She secluded herself.
The din of yes, that means secluded.
Secluded, maybe.
The husband says, I don't want you going to a room alone.
Yeah, no, I understand,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if secluded would be the. She secluded herself. She separated.
Sequestered is the same concept. When you sequester something, you put something, you hide it away. Same concept. Omer Eid Echad. Now we know that if there are two Eidim that heard him warn his wife, and then two Eidim say they went into a room alone together, and we don't know what happened in that room, but the two Eidim, that is evidence where now the husband has the right to take her up to the Beis Hamikdash, make her drink the sotah waters. And if she refuses, she gets divorced and loses her ksuba. That's if she has two eidim. Now, if there are two eidim that looked in a window and saw her actually having relations with the man in there, so you don't take her up to drink the sotah water. It's not enough to put her to death because there needs to be hasra. But if the two eidim come and say, oh, we saw her have relations, so there's no doubt anymore. She only drinks the sotah waters if there's a doubt. And in that case, she's mizana, she's usher to live with the Baal, and it also causes her to lose her ksuba and he has to divorce her. However, what about the case if there's only one aide who says, I saw her have relations? It's also enough to prevent her from drinking. Lo haisa shoisa. He has to divorce her. Eid echad is neman ba, and to cause her to even lose the ksuba. V'la'od el afilu eved afilu shivcha. Even normally apostle dike aid. Regarding this issue, hare elu nemanim, af posla miksubasa. Even one aid can cause her to lose the ksuba. Now, what if the aid is her mother-in-law, chamoisa, or bas chamoisa, or a co-wife, sarasa, or v'yivimta, her sister-in-law, ubas baila, her stepdaughter? All of these people hate her. And normally, we wouldn't accept testimony because we think it's biased. But in the case of Sotah, elu nemanos, they are also believed to cause her to lose her ksuba. In those cases, it's enough shalotishter. She doesn't drink, she gets divorced, and she gets her ksuba. If those four people, chamoisa bas chamoisa, are the ones who gave testimony, because we worry that they're biased against her. Shaya bedin. There was a kavachomer to be learned.
We learned that case before when they said that basically the husband died in Medina Tayyam and didn't die.
There we don't believe her. Because we think that they're trying to ruin her by getting married when her husband's still alive. Exactly.
So how come here we?
So here they're believed to an extent.
Yeah, but it's funny because they weren't believed at all because we know that and that's a much more chamor thing. That's about
Rashi says, "Are elu nemonas la leeduzu, shatora hemina kol edus sheyeshba." The Mishnah started by saying even a bird tells you.
Yeah, but how come in that
Miu lola posla miksubasa, because of the bias. The other cases cause her to lose her ksuba if it's an unrelated aid.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Any aidus that says that saw her have relations in that room prevents her from drinking the sotah waters. The only question is, does she get her ksuba? In the other cases, she loses her ksuba. In this case, she retains.
Right. But even the fact that they believe in it, because we learned for sure that before that's
by Misa of Baal, that's by Aguna.
But that's much more chamor.
No, but here the Torah tells you to believe any edus. There's a special pasuk that says that any edus about nitma is believed. That's why we believe here even a shivcha and an evet. Why aren't you asking me about that? That's more of a puzzle. Those are normally puzzle edus. Evidence. Okay. So there's a kavachomer here too. Umay medus rishoina. The initial edus, where the husband warns his wife. At that point, the wife does not get prohibited to live with her husband. Ein osar to Israel. Is einam eskayemis b'pochas b'shnayim. You need at least two edim. Edus achrona shosarta Israel. Now, in all these cases that this Mishnah has been dealing with, She's now prohibited to live with her husband, period. And so this is a permanent prohibition. It should not be a good edus unless you have at least two. Talmud Loimar, the pasuk says, "Ve'ed ein ba." There is no testimony at all. Kol edus sheyesh ba. Even a bird, even an evet, even a shivcha, even a chamoisa, even bas chamoisa. There's testimony, and that's enough. That's a gzeres hakasu from a pasuk. Freit the Gemara, freit the Mishnah, kal v'chomer leidus harishona miyata. Well, now we can ask a kasha on the requirement that you need two edus, two edim, for the kinui, for the warning. Uma im edus achrona shesata isra olam areim is kemes beid echad. If the final edus, which is going to prohibit her from living with her husband, is miskaim even with one aid, edus arishon she'eno sata isra olam. The warning of his wife, which does not cause a permanent prohibition, also should be enough one aid. There, where it talks about the warning, it says he found something, a dvar erva. By Beis Din, it says apishnei edim yakum davar. To take money out of somebody, you need 280. So by the kino, it's exersa kasuv, because it says ervas davar that you need 280 to start this process. Okay. Another question. Aid oimer nitmes. One aid says, no, we saw her having relations. But aid oimer lo nitmes. And there's another aid that says, no, we didn't see that. Or they did not have relations. Isha oimeres nitmes, a woman aid came and said they had relations. And another woman, Isha oimeres lo nitmes. So the two testimonies are wiped out. And we have now testimony that she was in the room alone. Haisa shoisa. There would be a suffix, what happened there. As long as there's a suffix, in those cases she drinks. One age said she had relations and two says no. So we rely on the two edim where it's still a suffix. Because we have two edim that said that she had relations and then she doesn't drink anymore. So this limud, hi Talmud Loimer kimotza b'avers davar, Talmud Loimer va, we also learn, it says v'hi nitma'a ve'ed ein ba, so ba v'lo b'kin, that means testimony about her and whether she had relations or not. And it's not one aid regarding the warning. And ba v'lo b'stira m'boy. So Hachanami Kama, Gemara says that's correct.
But there's this presuming that she goes out to Rabbi Ksuva every time, that for sure.
If there's an aid, if there's one aid.
No, but if there's a suffix over here, the one says yes, the one says no. It also goes out.
No, then she goes, yeah, no, she goes and drink. If she wants to retain her ksuba, she's allowed to drink. And she comes out clean, she gets her ksuba. She doesn't need to be divorced. She can live with her husband. It's the issue of whether she drinks or not. Because in all the other cases, we don't allow her to drink anymore. Because there's no suffix. Here, the suffix returns because you have hakchasha between the two edim, whether she was nitmes or not. Now, the tuma ba'alma below kinu v'lo stira. Now, let's say the husband did not warn her, either to sequester, to seclude, and there's no edus that she was alone. And you have one aid that comes and says, oh, I saw this Eishes Ish have relations with another man. We don't believe that. Nemar kan davar v'nemar lahalan davar. Malon b'shnei edim, avkan b'shnei edim. It's only within the sota process that we have this special dispensation of one aid being able to trigger. But if you're not within the sota process, it's just a regular woman, and one aid comes and says, we saw her fool around with some guy, that's not enough to cause anything. Then it says, aid oimer nitmes. So the Mishnah said, and then there's hakosha, she still drinks. Time of the komakishle, because there was hakosha between the two aidas. Halo komakishle, if there was no hakosha by the second aid echad mehamen. We say that the testimony of one is enough to prevent her from drinking anymore. Menonimili, the ton rabbanon. The aid ain bon. If she doesn't have testimony, then we bring her up. So the Gemara says, B'shnayim hakosim medaber. It means two aid. Atomer b'shnayim oin ela be'echad. Maybe one aid is enough. Talmud lomer lo yakum eid echad be'ish. So mimash v'shenemer lo yakum aid eni odeshu echad. It must be that we're talking about one. So ma Talmud lomer echad zebon of kol makom shenemer aid arei kan shnayim. Even the word aid means a set of witnesses too. Ad she'yifut l'chakasuv echad. The Amar Achmana trade lespa elachat doesn't have two; there's only one. And if the hilon is pasa, and she wasn't raped, asura, even with only one aid. Even to midiraisa eid echad me'emon, idei chechi matzi makish. So if you're telling me minat Torah, one aid is enough for us to believe him, how come the second aid that says lo nitmes is believed to be makish? Whenever the Torah believes one aid, it's as if there's two aidim. Just because another aid came to argue with what the first aid said, it doesn't stand like in the face of two aidim. And l'chora, we're treating the aid echad testimony as two aidim. So really, Einachanami, Ula learns, the first aid is enough to be believed for her not to drink. And the second witness that comes is not Makashim. But Rav Chia Amar Haisa Shoisa. Rav Chia says we do accept the Akasha. So Rav Chia Kasha do Ula. Ula's statement that Kol Makom Shemina Torah Eid Echad Arei Kan Shnayim is a problem for Rav Chia, Loi Kasha. Depends how the two edim came. Kan b'vasachas. If two edim, one says nitmes, one says another, so there is no standard testimony to rely on. But kan b'zechar zeh. If one aid came and said, "I saw it," so then we uphold it, and then the second one says lo nitmes, we don't uphold it because we hold a vu'ula.
So what happens if the first one says she wasn't Tameh? So which means that's an aid as Kishnayim, and then the second one says she was.
The second one is rejected.
Rejected. So the first one is the main one. That whatever the first testimony is, that's what we believe in. Yeah.
Similar to Eidim Zomimim, where it's Exeris Sakosa that we believe then over the other one. I mean, why should we? In Mishnah, there's no reason to believe one over the other.
So Exeris Sakosa that the first one that comes is the Dama, yeah.
So it's not. Eid oimer nitmes, ushnaim oimim loy nitmes. So we say haisa shoisa. Now why? Hachad v'chad lo haisa shoisa. Right? You just told me if you have one against the other, you would not drink. Tiyuf to Rav Chia. So again, it's a kasha Rav Chia. Amlach Rav Chia l'tamei chayim seifa. Shnaim oimim nitmes v'echad oimer lo nitmes. We say lo haisa shoisa. Hachad v'chad haisa shoisa. Ella. The Gemara now tells us that those are talking about that the two that came were puzzled. They were shivcha, they were avodim, where we do accept it, but they're not fully edim. When the Chemi, the time of the Chemi Omer, we go after the majority. V'asu shtei noshim be'ish echad kishnei noshim be'ish echad. So that's not the normative halacha, but that's Rav Nechemia. He says two women, even though they're puzzled, act like two men against one man. So we would believe them. But ikedi amri kolecha de asa eid echad kosher meikara, afilu mea noshim nami keid echad damim. If one kosher aid comes initially, so 100 women testifying against them is compared to the single aid. And they can't be mevatel that aidus. Let me just learn the halacha here from the Rambam. Ba aid echad kosher, v'omer shenit mesa isha. A kosher aid came to say that she had relations. Harein ein isha zu shoyse. She doesn't drink. V'afilu ba aid echad v'khisho. Even if the second aid came to be makish, the first aid. Ein shoymin lo. She'edus echad betuma soita nechsheves ke'eda gemura. A one-person testimony is considered like a two-person testimony. When? In the Sotah case. Ve'ein dvar shel eid hasheni b'makam eid rishon shu nechshav kishnayim. Aval im bo shnei edim ke'echad. Two edim came as one. And one of them said nitma, the other said lo nitma. So then there's hakasha, and we get rid of that edus, and we're back to the suffix, and she would drink.
Yeah, but if the first one is, according to the first part, the first one is achosha, is false, then how can we say that Hare Kishnayim? How does Rambam say Hare Kishnayim? We reject everything.
By sota.
I know, but even sota,
the first one who comes, that edus is viewed as if two people gave the edus.
whether he lied or not, even if we know he lied.
Really
It was
lied.
achosha. What happens with that?
Hakasha is not that he lied. He's giving different testimony. One aid says we saw her have relations. The other aid says I didn't see them have relations. That's Hakasha. He doesn't say anything about the aid. He says what he saw.
I see. Oh, so we believe his testimony.
We believe the first guy. Because by a sota, we believe the first guy as if he was two. So ein makam eid echad b'makam shnayim.
Okay.
Now, in general, the Rambam says, ba eid echad kosher, v'omer shenitma, and says that the woman had relations. V'nashim rabois, and 100 women or 100 psulim says that she did not. Hareze kemechza al mechza. Viewed as 50-50 v'shoisen, she drinks. The suffix still remains. Ki ikedi amri. We pass like the ikedi amri. She'ed kosher upsulim rabim is like one against the other. V'mayu kola edim psulim. If the first aid was possible and the second, then you count who's more than the other. If there were two women, shenitma, and then 3 women come to shalom nitma, so she would drink because they would wipe each other out. If 3 said that she did not have relations and 4 said she did, she would not drink. Was equal, she would drink misofik. The Rambam spells it all out. We pass like the Ikedi Amri. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll finish the parak tomorrow.
Shkoyach.
9 p.m. tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
what time?
Tomorrow 9 p.m.
Good night.
Because I daven mincha at 7:30. I would love to do it earlier, but I can't. Okay. Go ahead, everybody.